£1 billion to help children in England catch up after months out of school, but still no details of how they'll return in September.
Shops can reopen in Wales from Monday. More details of how it will ease lockdown will be announced later.
Good morning. Bike sales are booming as more of us ditch public transport. But is this just a short-term fix or a longer-term trend? I'm on London's cycle superhighway this morning to find out.
Good morning. It's back to the day job for Marcus Rashford. He returns to the pitch for Manchester United in the Premier League tonight at the end of a week in which his campaigning forced a government U-turn.
Have a look at the papers for you on a Friday morning. So, most of the papers this morning feature pictures of Dame Vera Lynn, who died yesterday at the age of 103.
The Daily Express reports that the Queen was very sad on hearing the news. That's according to Dame Vera's assistant.
At Daily Mail, you can see they're leaning on the government's decision to change the way its coronavirus tracing app works, calling it an embarrassment and a damaging U-turn.
And The Guardian is leading with a review into Labour's performance at the last general election, of course last year, by the party group Labour Together. The paper reports that the campaign was a picture of dysfunctionality, toxicity and drift.
Let's have a look at Wales Online, leading with the news that all non-essential shops will be allowed to open. That is from Monday. And they say that Welsh First Minister Mark Drakeford, we'll be speaking to him later on this morning actually, is expected to ask people to stay local within 5 miles for at least another 2 weeks. There are a lot of differences between the various parts of the UK, and we'll try and give you quite a clear outline today. We're speaking to significant figures from Wales, from Scotland.
We're in Northern Ireland as well.
In connection with schools, talking to Nick Gibb, and that is specific to England. A lot of information to take in.
Lots of pictures in the paper that have caught my eye. You've got a text one, haven't you?
Well, no, I was just going to draw these always... I find them so sad when you hit these reports. This is a report from the British Red Cross. It says 4 out of 10 people from their survey feel lonelier since lockdown. It goes on to say a third say they've not had a meaningful conversation in the last week. And I know, you know, at various stages in lockdown where, you know, people are feeling happier because they've got a certain amount of contact, there remains, I think, a lot of loneliness out there. And when you hear statistics like that, certain groups of people are very much still feeling it at the moment. And the impact on that, which is the important point, of course, is really significant. Well,
and a lot of that comes down to, as well, shielding, doesn't it, as well? And you know, those of us who are fortunate enough not to have shielded, not to have to shield, will say, well, I'll say, you know, miss a hug. I miss actually hugging my friend.
But you are at least able to...
But I'm able to at least, you know, be in contact with them. But it's just having general chit-chat. Because if you're shielding, particularly, well, there's something like 2.5 million shielding. If you're shielding, you're not going out, or you're going out at times when perhaps it is more quiet, so you can avoid, you know, the risk of contacting people as well. So, and often I've had lots of friends who've just said, if they are passing people who are shielding on the road, they're just striking up a conversation. Yep. Which actually makes it a bit nicer.
Primary and secondary schools in England are to get a £1 billion boost to help children catch up on months of lessons that were missed during lockdown.
The government has pledged that a third of that cash will go towards a special tutoring programme for pupils from the poorest homes. Critics say the plans lack detail and that nursery pupils and some over 16s have been left out.
School children in Northern Ireland will only have to sit 1 metre apart, not 2, when they return to school in August. Stormont has announced the measures to allow full classes to attend, but adults, including school staff, should still keep 2 metres away from each other. Guidance on how schools can operate in Northern Ireland will be published later today.
People of South Asian heritage are more likely to die from coronavirus after being admitted to hospital in the UK. This is according to a major new study. Data from 260 hospitals across England, Wales and Scotland showed that patients with South Asian backgrounds were 20% more likely to die than white patients. The research, published in the Lancet Medical Journal, suggests that high levels of diabetes are partly to blame.